Hello and welcome to another round of Sarah Sabin's question time. And today's question, which is kind of actually more of a statement, is Sarah, I'm just not motivated to do X. I'm going to say what I usually respond in that particular instance, which is motivation is a completely overrated factor in success. There, I've said it. You may need motivation or purpose or a big picture vision, but the reality is that in order to get there, there will be boring things that you have to do along the way. There will be long work periods that you will have to see through to completion. And if you are relying on motivation solely to get through that, then you are bound to run into difficulties. If not in the work area, in other areas of your life. So it could be your physical health, it could be your mental health, which, as we know, if those suffer, then your work performance suffers anyway. But just to put this into context, if you think about it, you would not ring up work one day and say, "Hey, I'm just not motivated to come into work today. Can't be bothered. Is it okay if I just kind of show up tomorrow or the next day when I feel a bit more motivated?" Understandably, you might not get the best response to that, but people do it to themselves quite often. So they're like, I didn't do this exercise that I was meant to do to strengthen my mindset, to work on my emotional regulation, to develop a specific leadership skill that I'm currently trying to work on because I was too busy. And because I was so busy, I wasn't really motivated to do it. I couldn't find the headspace. That's quite a common one. That is not an excuse, unless, of course, we are talking about hours of work. But quite often, people will find excuses even not to do 15 minutes to half an hour, which no matter how busy you are, no matter how much traveling you do, and believe me, a lot of my clients do a lot of traveling. Everyone could find 30 minutes over the course of the day, even if you have to split it up, in order to do these things that you've committed to do. And this can also apply in a work context as well. So you may well be like, right, well, I'm showing up to work today and I'm just not motivated to work, even though I'm showing up. So I'm kind of half showing up. I'm not doing the things that I know will get me results today. I'm busying myself with other things. So the first thing I want to say is we all do this from time to time. So it's just good to develop an awareness that you do this for certain things if you do. So an example of this is, for example, doing it in the physical area. Let's say you are wanting to improve your health and fitness. Again, if you're relying on motivation alone, that's going to make it very difficult because you may be motivated for the first week and you're like, wow, this is amazing. I'm really excited. I feel really good. But the second week, let's say life gets really busy, work gets really busy, and you're like, oh, I'll just let it go for this week. Then you're like, oh, well, I let it go last week, so I'll just continue letting it go. And it slides downwards. So, what does actually build success? Habits do. So, doing something consistently, even if only for a short time, I will add. So, I work with very busy people, but everyone can find about 15 minutes in a day to commit to the things that are important and that are actually going to enhance your life and enhance your work performance. So, what does that look like? Number one, you could consider habit stacking. So tying your physical exercise to a specific activity that you perform every day. So, for example, after you brush your teeth, you go lift some weights straight away after you've done that. Or after you've had your coffee at 7:30 a.m., you get in your car on Tuesday and Thursday and drive to the gym and go to work thereafter. You want to also have an accountability system if possible. So, with physical exercise, that could be a personal trainer, a friend, or simply committing to going to a particular class that you always go to, for example. And that is important whilst you're building the habit. Once you've built the habit, because you've done it consistently over a period of time, it will be weird for you not to do the thing. So you will actually miss doing it when you're not doing it. So if you do miss a day or a week, you are 100% going to go back to it because you recognize, okay, well, I've just fallen off the horse for a bit, but I missed this and I'm going to get back to doing it. That's a sign that something's been ingrained properly in your habitual patterns. So, first of all, as an action step, I want you to think about what are the areas of your life that are important to you, but you're not doing the things that you want to do because you say you're not motivated. And I often use the phrase create time where there is no time because we're not talking about hours. 15 minutes is better than nothing. Half an hour is better than nothing. If you can do an hour, great, but it's not necessary. It's the small steps done consistently that is the important thing. So think about what's important to you and why is it important to you? And then create an action step around that, and then tie it to something that you already do. If you can schedule it into your diary, so much the better. And then have an accountability system in place. I'm also just going to cover off the point of, oh, but Sarah, I travel a lot. Completely get that point. You're going to still have to think about some degree of flexibility so you don't drop the ball completely. And this is especially whilst you're building up this consistent habit. So even when you travel and you wake up, you might be waking up at a different time, but you will still be brushing your teeth in the morning, or you will still be drinking your coffee in the morning. And so you simply change the timing of the activity that you're wanting to do and tie it into what you're doing whilst you're traveling. Again, even if it's only 5 minutes, it doesn't matter. It's the principle of showing up consistently. And the more you follow through on your commitments to yourself, the more dopamine gets released. Happy. That makes you happy. And the more you want to actually follow through on commitments.